Well, I've been taking pictures since I was a little kid, mostly of my little toy dolls and soldiers and things like that. But I never took it, quote unquote, seriously until I got to college. And it's kind of been a means for me to gain access to people and places that I might not otherwise go or meet, and to communicate with the rest of the world in some way. So the impetus is to be as good a photographer artistically, aesthetically, so that people will actually look at your work and think about it, hopefully. And yeah, so that's about it. So there was a double impetus to communicate and do it in an artistic way. I think that human photography offers us a mirror to see ourselves through the eyes of other people, and hopefully to gain some insight into us as individuals and also who we are as a species. And sometimes we lose sight of that. You know, we're so perhaps narcissistic in some ways. That's why we make films about ourselves, pictures about ourselves, tell stories about ourselves. And the whole thing has to do with who are we? And with photography, that's my way of exploring that question. I met Amin Aftim Saba in his home a few years ago when I was beginning my Home Away from Home Little Palestine by the Bay project. He was referred to me by his daughter, actually. Uh, it was her way of getting out of being interviewed herself, but that turned out to be a real gem and a gift. He was an incredible gentleman, soft-spoken. He was from Lidda, Palestine, and my father was from Jaffa, Palestine. And so when he spoke English, he sounded like my father. His English was much like my father's English, the accent of it. And because he learned his English in Jaffa, he went every day to school to learn English there. I did the interview in his home, family all around, his wife bringing us treats and coffee, and it was a very personable and enjoyable experience. As with the other people in this project that I mentioned, I did the interviews first, mainly for me to get to know the people, for them to become comfortable with me. And the more I knew about their story and who they were, I thought would make the pictures much more interesting and more intimate. So we talked for an hour or so, maybe a little more, and then I turned off the mic and we started doing portraits in his home as well. When people are looking and once they've scanned the QR code and they're listening to it on their phone, it's almost like you're having a phone conversation with the person, you know, or a Zoom even, except the image isn't moving. And I thought that made it even more human or real in some respects. And some people have asked me, why didn't I just do video? And what was video in my mind is much more complicated process. You might have a crew, you have lights, you have all sorts of distractions that take away some of the immediacy, the intimacy, maybe the sense of calm or confidence of the subject, you know, that you're talking with. So doing it as a photo project and with audio, I think eliminated a lot of the distractions that video would have had, I think.